what's going on? I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to show you this little trick that I came up with and learned, which is a way to create different chord progressions without the need to know music theory and without having your full MIDI keyboard beside you. So the chords sound like this. So it sounds really nice. These are really well put together chords that I probably wouldn't play if I was just on my MIDI keyboard. And it wasn't that hard to do because as you can see here, I'm just playing one note on each MIDI clip, which is then triggering a chord using MIDI effects. So let me just show you real quick. I have these MIDI effects here, and I'm gonna open up this to show you my effects that I used. Quite simple. First one is the MIDI effect known as the chord effect. And I just used a preset, actually. You could look up a chord and find the different intervals, but I just used a preset, and I just put the Jazz for Dummies because I thought it sounded really good. And if we just take a listen how it sounds before I put the other effect, it plays this chord. When I play one key, it just triggers the other notes that are in the chord and plays the full chord. Really nice. But the problem with that is, let's say it's like a minor chord, then every note you play is going to be a minor chord, and not every chord in not every chord in a scale is a minor chord. There are majors, there are diminished chords, there are different types of chords within a scale. So in order to keep every chord that I play in scale, I used another MIDI effect known as the scale effect. I just threw on the C minor. You could put on the Dorian scale also. That works too if you're in the minor scale. And I put it into F sharp, which is the root of my scale, F sharp minor, and now whatever key I press, it plays a chord, the chord I put in my scale. It sounds really nice, actually. I think it's a fun way to play. You only play one note, so you don't really think about it. You come up with different chord progressions that you probably wouldn't have come up with before. And if we continue looking at the sound that I used, if anyone is interested in the sounds that I used to make this, I just used something really simple. I threw on Analog Lab and picked this Jazz Time preset for the stage piano, and it has this classic, housey piano vibe to it, electric piano. So that's the sound. I cut a little bit of the lows with EQ. I threw a little bit of compression on it so it comes through. And I put a really light reverb that's a small room and a very short decay. And I just pulled down the dry wet a lot, so it's just barely audible. And now let's just hear how it sounds in the little track that I put together. Hopefully it releases soon. Alright, so that was what I wanted to show you today, just a little trick for coming up with different chord progressions. Now, I do encourage that you do learn to play chords in different scales and play the piano and play your MIDI keyboards, But in this example, I was sitting on the couch, I felt inspired, I didn't have my MIDI keyboard, so this was a way for me to play full chords, come up with a real progression without having my MIDI keyboard and just using the keys on my keyboard of my laptop. So I encourage you to try it out, and if you like the video, be sure to give a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, see you next time.